Tuesday, August 29th. How you doing today? I want to give a big thank you to Herman, Becky, Jerry, Chris, Tiny, Jenilyn, MD, Big Wad, and Why Must I Go? Thanks for the emails, guys. It's some good discussion. Let's get into the poem, shall we? I think that's where we really need to be. Before we get into the actual poem, let's talk about what Forrest has said about the poem, because I think that's important as well. We've been in this thing, 7 years now it's been out? So I think what he said about the poem is important. So let me go through the notes here and see what we got. All the information you need to find the treasure is in the poem. The chapters in my book have very subtle hints, but are not deliberately placed to aid the seeker. Good luck in the search. All the information you need to find the treasure is in the poem. Let's keep that in mind when we go over the poem. I felt like an architect drawing the poem. How hard was it to write the poem and not give the location away? It was not hard at all. I just had to stay focused. The person who finds the treasure will have studied the poem over and over and thought and analyzed and moved with confidence. Nothing about it will be accidental. No specialized knowledge is required. My Thrill of the Chase book is enough to lead an average person to the treasure. Will the poem lead you to the treasure? Yes, if you know where to start. Playing a hunch is not worth much in the search, and those who start out by looking for the blaze are wasting their time. I cannot imagine anyone finding the treasure without first identifying the starting point. Look at the big picture. There are no shortcuts. The only requirement is that you figure out what the clues mean, but a comprehensive knowledge of geography might help. And that ties in with look at the big picture. A comprehensive knowledge of geography might help. The only requirement is that you figure out what the clues mean. So the clues that are in this poem, we got to figure out what they mean, what he was referring to when he created them. Look at vlog number 2 I did way back. Actually, I'll put a link to it up here about what warm waters could mean and how we might have to look at it a little bit differently. The most common mistake that I see searchers make is that they underestimate the importance of the first clue. If you don't have that one nailed down, you might as well stay home and play canasta. What surprises me is that so many ignore the first clue in the poem. Without it, all the searcher has is the memory of a nice vacation. Although many have tried, I doubt that anyone will find the blaze before they have figured out the first clue. You see what he said right there? We do have to find the blaze. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to seek. I doubt that anyone will find the blaze before they have figured out the first clue. You have to find the blaze. It is a physical thing, an object that's out there in the wilderness, in the Rocky Mountains. Until someone finds the treasure, they will not know for sure that they have discovered the first clue. The problem searchers make is that they don't dwell long enough on the first clue. If you can't find the first clue, you don't have anything. People driving down the street looking for a blaze because that's one of the clues, but you can't start in the middle of the poem and find the treasure. Don't mess with my poem. Start at the beginning. There are 9 clues in the poem. You cannot solve the problem by starting in the middle of the poem. You should start with the first clue and then solve the other 8 in order. The clues are in consecutive order. Start at the beginning. The first clue is begin it where warm waters halt. So we see a pattern there. He keeps saying, go back to the poem and start at the beginning. So many people miss the first clue. That's why they're in the wrong area and why it hasn't been found. Begin it where warm waters halt is the first clue. So what about the first stanza? If this is the first clue and they're in order, do we just disregard the first stanza? I think maybe the first stanza helps. Maybe there's hints in the first stanza, but it is not one of the 9 clues. Begin it where warm waters halt is the first clue. The blaze we know is a clue. Home of Brown has to be a clue. That's got to be a place that we find. All these are placeholders in the wilderness, in the Rocky Mountains. Let's look at the first stanza. As I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where, and hint of riches new and old. I know a lot of people have said they thought that this stanza is a hint to which of the 4 states to start in. I know hint of new and old could reference Mexico, New Mexico, Old Mexico. The word treasures could be Montana. Montana is the treasure state. So what are the clues for Colorado and Wyoming? As far as in that stanza, because I've heard people have got all 4 states from the first stanza. I'm not sure what they are for Colorado or Wyoming. If anybody knows, put it in the comments down below. Begin it where warm waters halt is clue number 1. take it in the canyon down, not too far to walk, put in below the home of brown. Let's say this whole sentence is clue number 1. Put in below the home of brown is clue number 2. From there, it's no place for the meek. The end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. Let's say each one of those lines is a clue. So now we're up to 6. If you've been wise and found the blaze would be 7. Look quickly down your quest to cease, but tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. So then we would run out. So where warm waters halt is the first clue. Take it in the canyon down would be the second clue. Not far, but too far to walk. Is that a clue, or is that just telling us don't walk? Either we drive, or if people think you get in the water, maybe we get in the water and float, or drive a boat, but I don't think we have to get in the water. 1, 2, 3. Put in below the home of brown would be 3. No place for them to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look quickly down your quest to cease, but tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. It's kind of hard to determine what the actual 9 clues are, isn't it? We know where warm waters halt is clue number 1 because he said so. We know the blaze is a clue because he said so. Home of brown has to be a clue because it's a proper name. It's capitalized. We have to find this place, this home of brown. So that's 3 clues. But what about the other 6? I guess there's different ways you can divide it. And what about the last 2 stanzas? Seems to me the clues are in these 3 middle stanzas. 1, 2, 3. Stanza 5 and 6. Are there actual clues in there? Or do they just help with the poem somehow? Maybe these 2 stanzas make sense when you actually find the chest and there's something in there that these relate to. But I look at it as all 9 clues are in stanza 2, 3, and 4. I know it's controversial. Isn't it interesting that there's 9 sentences in the poem and Forrest said there's 9 clues? A lot of people have thought each of the 9 sentences is a clue. But we know that's not true because we get it where warm waters halt is the first clue, so there is not a actual clue in the first stanza. I'm going to leave it there for now. Let's discuss the poem and the 9 different clues. What do you think the 9 clues are? I think they're contained in these 3 stanzas, stanza 2, 3, and 4. There's different ways you could group the sentences for them to be clues, but can we all at least agree that warm waters halt is a clue, the blaze is a clue, and home of brown is a clue? So there's 3. Let's find the other 6. There is not going to be a vlog tomorrow. I pick up my kids on Wednesdays. I'm going to go out and do something fun with them. I'll be back, should be back on Thursday. Depends what else I got going on. Got another package in the mail, so thank you to Lisa. She sent that. So now we're up to 6 packages for mail time this weekend, so that'll be fun. Hope you guys are looking forward to it as much as I am. And yeah, how's everybody doing? How's the discussion going? I did email Forrest another question and did not get an answer. So if he does answer it at some point, I'll let you guys know. But did not hear back from him. So if you guys like the video, comment on the video, subscribe, share, I would appreciate it. And yeah, let's keep talking about it. One of these things is going to click. At some point, we're going to put it 2 and 2 together. And then also, it's called Forrest Fenn Says, but we're also going to go through the Thrill of the Chase book. There are hints that help with the clues, and we need to figure out what those hints are. So even though it's called What Forrest Fenn Says, I'm not only going to be talking about what he says. I guess you could say, well, what he said is in the book too. There's also going to be other treasure hunts. It's not just going to be about Forrest Fenn. I've got other books I need to go through and get the word out to people and, kind of go through some of those and discuss them. So I hope you guys join me on the journey. And it's been a lot of fun so far. And I'll see you guys next time. No! Oh, you sound like Peppa Pig. Are you Peppa Pig, Eric? Oh, you guys are crazy.
Daddy, Daddy.
That doesn't hurt your nose? Oh, you better eat that hamburger, buddy.
Okay.
What was that? A bird?
Banana gun.
Oh.
So bye guys. We just saw the Minions 3. Bye.
That's right.
Subscribe this video.